Hi there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Jill Nicholson, and this is a cozy corner of the web where we can dive deep into the fascinating maze of the human minds and hearts. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that I think many of you might relate to, and that is anxiety. Not just anxiety, but anxiety that starts to feel constant, and constant with seemingly no reason. If you find yourself feeling tense for no reason, or worried or restless, and you can't pinpoint a cause, stay with me because we're going to explore why this happens and what you can do about it. Let's start by addressing the question, what is anxiety without reason? Sometimes anxiety hits us even when everything seems fine. This type of anxiety may feel frustrating or confusing, but it's more common than you might think. And it's important to know you're not alone, and actually there will be a reason behind it. Anxiety is a response that's deeply rooted in our biology, our brain's fight or flight mechanism. And it's designed to keep us safe from danger, but it can misfire even when there's no immediate threat, and this can leave us on edge. Think of it as your brain being overly cautious, like a car alarm that goes off for no reason. Our brain and nervous system are always working to keep us safe, but sometimes this protective mechanism can become overactive, and in its attempt to protect us. And it might end up triggering more fear, more anxiety, and causing our nervous system to become dysregulated. Nervous system dysregulation. Okay, so this occurs when the body's natural balance of activation and calming response is disrupted. And it often leads to chronic stress, anxiety, or real difficulty in managing to calm down. This imbalance can make it hard for someone to return to a state of relaxation after a perceived threat or stressor is finished. It can become difficult to, I guess, re-regulate. I don't know if that's an actual word, but hopefully you know what I mean. When I began my own personal therapy in my late 20s, before I became a therapist, at first it felt liberating. I was finally beginning to understand myself. But as I moved away from feeling numb and became more aware of my emotions and feelings, I found myself overwhelmed by anxiety. It was exhausting, it was distracting, it was draining. I remember describing the experience to my own therapist as a constant feeling that something terrible was just about to happen. It was like the tension you feel when watching the Jaws movie, the unsettling sound of the cellos and the trombone building to that infamous heart-pounding music. You know, the music that where you see the shark's fin, and it's like that do 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 music. That sense of impending doom was always there, and it really took a toll on me. Stress from our daily lives can pile up. Even if you're not facing a major crisis, small, continuous stressors like work pressures, relationship struggles, financial worries can add up over time, making it feel like anxiety has no cause. But there is, it's a chronic drip, drip, drip kind of cause that's happening daily. Past experiences and trauma can leave a lasting imprint on the mind and body. If you've had difficult experiences, your brain may still be wired to react to stress and perceive danger, even when none exist. This can leave you on high alert without a conscious reason. Now, this is really significant. We're talking about a perceived threat. That means it can be one in our imagination, driven by our fears and what ifs. When we talk about a perceived threat, it's important to recognise that our mind can blur the line between what's real and what we imagine. This can lead to anxiety being triggered by these fears, these uncertainties, and the what-if scenarios that play out in our heads. For example, you might find yourself worried about a situation that has never happened, or obsessing over the possibility of things going wrong. This happens because your brain is conditioned by past experiences and trauma. So it interprets these imagined scenarios and potential dangers, prompting a real physical stress response. When we experience imagined fears, those what-if scenarios and anxieties that our mind creates, the body and the nervous system react as though these fears are real and happening right now. This is because the brain cannot distinguish between an actual immediate threat and a perceived or imagined one. When you vividly imagine a stressful situation, your brain activates the same areas as it would if you were truly facing that threat in real life. This triggers a cascade of hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, the stress hormones. Your heart rate might increase, your muscles might tense up, and your breathing might become shallow. All classic signs of fight or flight responses. Excuse me. In essence, your nervous system is responding as though you were under threat, as though there was an immediate danger, even if the source of the fear is purely in your mind. This can lead to chronic tension and exhaustion. And as your body is repeatedly mobilizing to deal with threats that aren't actually occurring, it can create a constant anxiety that might make you think that you're anxious with no real reason. Understanding this connection is vital because it highlights how powerful our thoughts can be in driving the physical reactions, and why managing anxious thoughts is so critical for calming both the mind and body. The body's reaction, that racing heart, the shallow breathing, the tension, is often just as intense as if the threat were genuine, keeping you in a heightened state of alert. So this learning to differentiate between a real and imagined threat can be challenging, but it's also crucial if we're going to manage anxiety and begin to rewire the brain's response. So what do we do? Stay with the evidence of what is happening, not the what ifs. Stay in the present, stay in the now, not way in the future. Stay in that logical and rational and problem-solving place, that part of you, because then it will help you to discard the imagined what ifs. So now we've explored why you might feel anxious for apparently no reason. Let's talk about what you can do to manage it. So here's a few strategies you can try to calm your mind and reduce anxiety. Breathing exercises are often underrated and overlooked. when we're feeling really anxious, the thought of just breathing seems like you've got to be joking. Is that going to do any help? Well, here's one for you that is really effective. It's called vagal brake breathing. What we do is we breathe in through our nose for a count of 4, and then we exhale through our mouth for a count of 6. So we breathe in for 4 through our nose and out for 6, slowly through our mouth. We do it once more. In through your nose for 4, out through your mouth for 6. If you have any practices that are a bit like meditation or guided visualizations, draw on them, because they can really help you to catch your mind when it's spiraling and gently bring it back into focus. Talk to someone. Talk to someone who cares about you. Talk to someone who doesn't have an agenda apart from your best interests. Someone you can really trust, because, well, sharing things can get them out of our head, and that can be helpful. It can lighten the load, and it can help give us a different perspective. Excuse me. If the anxiety is constant, and if it's really impairing your function, if it's making it really hard for you to be you, do think of getting some professional help, some therapy, some counselling. All these things can make a really tremendous difference, huge difference. And I know that firsthand. To no longer live with the kind of constant anxiety I lived with in my 20s and early 30s. Boy, it's a relief. I would never want to go back to feeling like that. So remember, feeling anxious without a clear reason, A, there usually is a reason, and B, it does not make you broken. You're not alone. And with the right strategies, you can regain control and find a place of calmness. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, take care of yourself and know it is okay to seek support if you need it. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.